My name is Chester Young. I am from Sierra Leone, a country known for its lush rainforest, stunning beaches, friendly people, and abundance of natural resources. I would have been happy with my life as a theater actor and living in Sierra Leone if it had not been for the devastating civil war that ravaged our country from 1991 to 2002. This is a bullet mark. When I hear noises downstairs, I really feel that, the rebels are coming, you know what I mean? During the war, I found the ability to help others through theater peace activism, and I traveled the country performing to local communities. But when the war got worse, I was forced to flee Sierra Leone to the UK. I ended up studying film, having a family, and even calling myself a Londoner. But my bad country never left my heart. That's why I'm going back, to expose the issues hot in Sierra Leone, and to talk to the youth who are its future. According to the Office for National Statistics, youth unemployment in Britain is at 14.4%, but in Sierra Leone, it's a massive 70%. To top it off, 70% of Africa's population is under the age of 30, and it is expected to grow younger for the next 20 years. Youth unemployment was one of the key factors that led to the civil war, so I am concerned.
This used to be my mom's house. As you can see, it's all gone now. The rebels burnt it down.
I am traveling all over my home country to discover how the youth are coping with such a crisis. Along the way, I meet some unforgettable characters. Ex-child soldiers,
Begin rebel, junior. Now so in the jail they call me.
illegal diamond miners,
How much you can sell this to dealer? 4 million.
heavyweight hustlers,
Some they want 75 kilo. It's 100 kilo.
all citizens of a disgruntled nation.
Disgruntled Bayala Kanu.
Disgruntled
Bayala Kanu.
Wow.
I don't feel me no happiness. Everybody is disgruntled here. My brother disgruntled. Even my sister's disgruntled. I don't feel me no happiness.
Lack of employment opportunities, combined with a rapidly growing youth population, has resulted in an explosion of urban slums around the world. According to UNICEF, 70% of the world's 1 billion slum dwellers are under the age of 30. My journey begins in King Tom's Bome, one of the biggest dump sites and slum communities in Sierra Leone.
I'm telling you, and don't feel nothing when it's not me, please. Because I want you my face to be the first one. Let us see the discontent.
I'm Mohamed Sisi. I've been living from the Kingdom for the past 25 years. This is the surrounding which I've been living for the past 25 years, and I'm a slum campaigner. I'm dwelling in the Kingdom dump site for many years. And some of the jobs that we are doing over there is we are recycling some of this garbage that we can sell at the end of the day, that we can earn our own living.
Right round the wall, we Sierra Leonean, we the last.
The last? Why?
Look how we they live now this country. They say gold, diamond, bauxite. We get many of minerals now we country. Look how we they live. Inside there, so no toilet position. Now plastic. Are the shit for go to in abome. No condition. The condition, if you watch all this area, all them pan body, they no get toilet. Who can live on, live so as Sierra Leone?
The population is so large to accommodate just a single toilet. They don't even have a community toilet. So that's why you see many kids come here, to ease themselves. But the risk lies there again because there is fire in the place. So most of them get burnt within this place.
Each and every one of these boys that in the slum, they are sleeping here, dwelling, end of the day, and went to the street and come back in the cemetery in the dump site.
Air pollution also affects the living.
The Ito, look what most corporates, 1,100, Fenfena 1,500. Erin, 3 for 1,500. Erin, how they pull now country. Now mango page with the eat. Dry yes. Now they manage with Jakato. Kobo. Believe what you are doing. Like so right now. Now one man I can be for myself. I for don't knock this camera before you finish.
The air pollution within this area only also affects people at all. The area has become so populated. So by right, government should remove this particular dump site here because the air population, the smoke that it is causing here, it affects within this entire area. It only need assistance for the youth, then able to empower them, then self-contribute to national initiative or development programs so that they will able to participate. That will reduce the unemployment rate. And at the same time, this education system fees don't dear, so not all parents will be able to afford for pay for education.
We don't respect education in proceeding at this country. Really, considering the kind nation and the amount of people, we believe say the idea of coming with 6334, we are in 6 years primary school, 3 years junior primary, 3 years senior secondary, and then 4 years university. And then if you cannot make it within this period of certification, the government send promise with that, then will make sure say they establish institutional centers, them vocational centers, them, so that we drop out them, they're not just left in the streets. So not until this government and these people of this country decide again for look over the government's educational system, then we go ever remain for the gates, half-baked students then roaming about. Because when you are half-baked educated, then you are nowhere. You don't get certificate for prove yourself in any sense.
To understand more about the educational system in Sierra Leone, I arranged to speak to Dr. Fadluddin, who was a member of the International Electoral Commission during Sierra Leone's transition to a democracy.
Sierra Leone is known as the Athens of West Africa because we've had higher educations affiliated to Durham University over 100 and many years, over 150 years now. But look at us today. A lot of these former leaders in the West African sub-region, most of them had their education in Sierra Leone. But what has happened to us today? Look at where we are. And we don't seem to see the necessity of improving.
Akasu, Wakango Tadit, Lano Buti Montaman, Anika the Campi pick up pan, Flow will survive. Don't know what for the man. See, America the candy all day. We will get small team, or go even 10. You see, the mental would get out, we go sell and people wouldn't buy iron there. See, in Kimbam, sell and get there in their money.
This condition of living in this country is not favorable for the youth man. Youth man they suffer, and youth man are the majority. You can't vote in, you can't any kind of thing. Youth man are majority. You not find like youth man they suffer so at this time in this country. Anyway, we not be they expect this because we dey behind. In the time when be the campaign, say them go create job creation for youth man them. Up till now, it pass almost youth man when I get job. We not able to do nothing. Pass dirty box work. Not all men go clean dirty box. Not all men go work dirty work. Some of we not use dirty business. Now clean business we use. The liberty for making them live and survive with their family. Pass them can do this dirty box work. Get them push carts. Get a cabbage in the dump site before they leave. You dey suffer na the land. Let them think but we, man.
You can live in a mansion. You live in an area where there are a lot of slums. The people don't know where to eat. The next thing is they go and steal from your house because they want to survive. I'm not condoning that, but that's a contributing factor because wealth is not distributed equitably.
We have everything in our midst, but it's just like we are living within an ocean, then we wash our hands with spit to it. If you consider the population of Sierra Leone, considering the minerals where we get in the country, then considering the manpower where we get in the country, if you look in terms of development, I mean, in any country where youth is the majority, all reasons there for development, because the youth get the power, the potential, and I mean the ability for socio-economic growth and development in a society. But the problem what we lack, we leaders themselves get a problem: transparency, accountability, and good governance.
Some slum dwellers melt down discarded juice cans to extract the aluminium. The liquid aluminium is poured into makeshift casts and forged into crude pots and pans. Small informal businesses like this pot-making factory make up the main economy of Sierra Leone. The pots are sold at the various informal marketplaces in Sierra Leone's capital city of Freetown. Susan's Bay represents one such marketplace. I spoke to some of the unemployed youths who gather here.
I left my parents here at the age of 8 years.
8 years?
Yes. I don't go to school.
So now you fend for yourself, say you stand up to them?
Yes, I fend for myself, I stand up to.
6 out of the 6 million people there, we the youth man, let's say about 2 million who jobless. We're not gonna work in this country.
In a popo, what they talk to you. Understand? I want to eat some of the fend.
One come up for talk, then go gather you, go keep you, detain you.
And when you talk about them, go take you, go lock you by them road. When I go to Panama, I go spend 30 million for me to go pull. If you don't get it, they die.
How did they die?
Online are corruption.
This is where I grew up since I was a little kid. And yeah, I lived in this street for more than 15 years. And look at it now, it's a big market.
UNICEF has found that only 9% of the working population is employed in the formal sector. The majority of jobs are in the informal sector. These are run by small, family-owned businesses like the ones in this outdoor market. Frequently, these jobs are unable to provide wages high enough to meet even basic living needs.
The grain, alala, markets no dey for sale. For sale, buy markets dey for sale. We no get no markets, we no build no markets. You see, and the market issue. If we get markets, we come on at this street because we people don't tire for looking at streets every day.
What make we do this message with young man then? Because of some of we don't go school, say we don't tire, people that don't die. So at the same time we don't get work. So now that make we sell cola. For some of you, we don't go do bad. For the at times so they get the 10,000, 15,000. I need 5,000. I put the 10,000.
They say for go, can you go? Like na the end you go, can you go? So I make all manifestation bitter. And my face is say bitter.
Yana 1,000. Yana 1,000. Look come on. I find scatties. 1,000. You can scat Yana 1,000.
Behind the busy market is the port, where self-employed workers scrape together a living carrying cargo from the storerooms to the market stalls. Here is where I met Emmanuel, who was happy to let me film his work.
I'm Emmanuel Mara. I do this labor job. I don't do this job here so up to 40 years at the bar. It's work. Because we don't get work and we get work. So I make it do them. You can pay me 150, 200, but at the expenditure I spend for the day for the picking there, it's too much. So I prefer say well at the end and let them pay me good money. Can go and find job, but the money they can pay me, the money small. Come up and this work what they do because it's not paying. So if I hope get a big job winner, then they pay me fine. I go left outside they do so.
Hello, madam.
Yes, fine.
I really appreciate you. Thank you for looking after this man and his family. Talk really good about you. You know? See, now you're not in strength. You know? Thank you very much.
Anyway, I get two picking them. What I get, one boy, one girl. The picking 16 years. The big one. The other small one, 10 years. When I don't work money time, when I don't get it, I forget. I can left money for them. For cook, chop money, don't I pull, they give them lunch, 7,000, go school. Now I try small for educate them, for let them achieve something. After they come out school, they book the uniform. After they book the, I supervise them, book the uniform. From then now, 5 o'clock, I go on a tongue for go do this labor work. Would they do well now? Oh, no problem. My wife is good to me, and nice. They do well with the picking. They take care of the picking well at the house. So I tell God thank you. I don't see I'm any kind bad thing, bad life as bad woman. Yes, and my mother-in-law get it good to me back. What are old now? God make her old. I look to me picking it, and then God go give them education and go help me. The state of the country now, the youth man they need work no day. From then I myself I prefer say no. As I don't work at it, I prefer say myself I go deeper me. Labor work back. So I go deeper and back. I say because I don't tire. I go deeper me work. I don't want to until I don't find job for me. I don't give me job. So I prefer say for go back, for go work back. Young people themselves, they know will get job back again. We serve most of me. I mean, I demand for them. I mean, I head for them. Who's how they work. I'm making friends who they can help me join for work. The same work who they do.
While joining Emmanuel on his morning shift, he agreed to introduce me to some of his co-workers.
Yes, sir. I don't do this job over 6 years. So I get family, but my family is too poor. I made help them more to do this job. You see, I dey get and help them in a village, this and that. I get my wife and my woman and me picking them with the go school.
Now you back. You're a strong man, huh?
Now the Spanish work I mean 10 years old. They were so far. For me now, but I try small. I get to my own living.
How is it like, you know, for doing this job here? So, what do you like? I will start with you first.
He's a businessman.
Okay.
Yes, a businessman.
You are the businessman, you are the trader.
Yeah.
Where you work for? So, you are the boss man.
I don't know Emmanuel for the past 15 years, and I'm a very strong and hardworking man. And then they play a very good role towards we own development and towards we own trading, because without them, we're not able to do anything.
How much kilo if you see them load and they can weigh so?
Well, some they weigh 50 kilo, some they weigh 75 kilo. Let's say 100 kilo. 100 kilo. No, 50 kilo is 110 pounds weight. 100 kilo is 220 pounds weight.
So now they carry.
Carry.
I can feel pain, my neck, but I can make her so safe. So I can feel the neck pain inside all the neck. Pass I can rub and drink medicine. So I can make sure I feel the chest. So they can join Sonoki Obu. We Sonoki Obu now and go. You are Obu, you can do with me. I can get a small one and force. But then they used to the work. So I can show them, I direct them, do I help them. I don't think about 20 people we can do with me. I can call them.
How are you, pa? I sleep. Because just imagine, and you do this work. Some man don't come from 78. Some man don't come from 79. Some man don't come from the 90s, 92, 95 to now. Check them pain and the way don't go by you. And he believes say nobody know they na yaso we get any doctor. We go able say this doctor yaso na me doctor. This we able take care of me. For any week leg go take the 3 injection or 2 injection. You know they nobody know they na. No workers know they are. We get a doctor there. We go take them treatment. So this work we do now by God in your own power no more. Now in the safeguard you. Then they have tablets also they take. What them buffet they able do.
It can affect my life because I can take a treatment to doctor. Can treat me. And for the month I go take injection. I pay 20,000 and go inject me for the pain. So I don't can feel too much. So it can manageable for me. For give me the health back for I go work back in the morning.
The kid is sick, but because of finance business, go hospital, no finance, they call tablets, they are not able to meet up according to the job where they do so, became bigger for loss in life, 7 years of age.
The Philippine any day, but half of you know for she don't. If you see the family then they eat. I get boku family in the house. A Filipino at the Gambia, they can add more pain back. I don't get doctor and a tablet someone they buy. And they take two. So now they take 10 for the.
We don't see that they will damage the health. They take them pain to tablets all every day.
For me, I don't feel the pain too much. If I don't take tablets, I need to work. Because the pain, you don't sit down on my system. Pain don't sit down on my system. You know what to do.
Who say 8 man they help you 1 grain load? 1 grain load, 8 man help you. 8 man. Check out that kilo if you weigh almost 90. 8 man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 man help you.
8 against 1.
Yes, then you go under that load. How you feel that way?
Yes.
Outside 4, 5, 6
Don't check.
No,
The reality, and they put for me the money there. Because if you not to him, I'm not going to put them for me. I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm picking things that they sell junks.
How much if you say that would be
That they heavy, brother. They heavy, bang.
Perfect man.
Emmanuel's boss allowed me to see the contents of the cargo. It is mainly comprised of shoes and other second-hand clothes that are bought in bulk from donation charities in Europe and sold as bric-a-brac at the market. This lucrative yet controversial practice has been banned in 12 African countries due to its damaging effect on the local textile industries.
If I get any government work or any side way I go able to put on, way myself, I go able to sustain my life and my family there, I will leave this job, I go inside it. But for right now, I not get any kind of job so far. I not get any side because I get families, affairs them. No, all anything in there.
You made it before, we put you, instead for develop the country, take this diamond, make use of them, till let me see the development of the country. Yes. We believe save the diamond for me, you make use of them good, this country for them push up, for them develop. Like the Ivory Coast, Ghana, and develop now by the resources, and then deploy and develop the country. When we get the resources, we know we make use of these resources. We misuse them because of selfishness and greediness.
This country is endowed with riches, human as well as natural resources. If we use our resources the way they should be used, this country should be one of the countries that should be giving aid to other countries.
We're traveling to Kwaedu, the capital of Sierra Leone's easternmost province. The region was at the heart of the 1991 to 2002 civil war due to its diamond-rich terrain and its border with Liberia. The primary source of income in the region is illegal diamond mining. We found a guide willing to show us the local scavengers mine. The site was previously mined by Kwaedu Holdings, who also run the biggest mine in the area. All that remains now are piles of mined gravel.
All these mining companies should be compelled to look after the environment. Because after they've dug out the whether it's gold or diamond or iron or whatever, sometimes they just leave the place like that, barren.
So-called self-employed youths scavenge for specks of diamonds missed by the machines. These specks are sold locally to the numerous illegal diamond dealers. It can take months until they find a single diamond.
We don't know what's the real international value for diamonds. Huh? International value.
Nothing pandamo. What you sabi, oh get out, go sell. Any amount to them do na we idea na do
None of the miners knew the value of diamonds and were forced to accept whatever the dealers gave them in payment.
This is big pass number 10. Now this we store, now this pool we na school, now this pool school, this diamond. Why? Because people learn and then game they are used to it. And then game they are so we. Most of the people parent na money man, then they get money, they no ever go free talk. Now they get their money, they educate we are, they who self we are who pimpane. Then die then left we. Who said na then you only who say falla.
You see the district now. If you imply anything, you see another district. And not imply anything, not the way I will say benefit anybody. But then still where this land, a diamond land, there is no other means. Understand? A diamond land is this not a diamond grown. passive, if you do it. Because God no mistake for put diamond for the people. We will make it say, we'll go do this, diamond it.
Back in Koidu village, I am going to meet a local business owner to discuss his ideas for development in the region.
My name is Alfred Bundu. I'm the proprietor for this VIP guest house and restaurant. Gonna get potential for development, but right now the development is really slow because of the road network. We own line of business, you know, they get the inflow because now only way guests then come, now they see we own business. So because of the road, people can always discourage for come. If only the government can strike a proper arrangement we then do with Koidolins, we not get much for do with the development of the township and the environment, it go better. I think say this time around, if they see any mineral, then for make proper arrangements, we go get the people and we go come for do the mining of them, mineral and they as then go fend them for do development, township development.
I am visiting one of the many diamond offices in the region to interview a dealer. None of the main dealers want to speak to me, except this one.
So how much for the biggest one there?
Well, according to the diamond, because we get the industry, we get what they call Mele, we get premiers, so they all get their own. So then we buy $15 for garage. So then $80 for garage. Sunday you can buy and then $250 for garage or $200 for garage.
You don't get fixed price. It depends how much you talk, how much you guys just pay.
They say diamonds are a girl's best friend, but they are much, much more. Symbolizing power, beauty, and success, diamonds have a force unique unto themselves, dating back to the beginning of time.
When we sell to the dealer, they then sell to the exporters. The exporter take them to the world market. So any price where they come with, that then they tell the dealer and say, well, price don't go down, don't fall, or price they high. So the dealer themselves, they tell we say, well, we want to buy, we want to for buy.
So in value, how much you can sell this to dealer? 4 million. 4 million. This one carat, 4 million.
We operate like a free market economy, and outside people can bargain according to the laws of this country. You go this seller buy and look and say, now this may they pay. If you not accept, you get a responsibility for go and go sell them. If you accept, you take them. The owners for educate yourself about the profession where they go and rely on you. Then you know they suggest they are insensitive to the problems the way the miners and they face because they're ignorant.
Most of the youths are ex-combatants. They have worked as miners for most of their lives and are mainly uneducated. The Civil War began in 1991 when a rebel army called the Revolutionary United Front attempted to overthrow the government. Inspired by warlord Charles Taylor's success in toppling the Liberian government, the rebels joined with Charles Taylor and during the first year of the war took control of the diamond-rich east and southern regions of Sierra Leone. These blood diamonds were smuggled to Taylor, who in turn trained and armed the rebels. To understand more about how the Civil War affected the Koidu region, I am meeting with the journalist and TV presenter Aisha Blyden.
Koidu town was completely devastated. I had first been there in 1991. And it was this lovely commercial town where there was all this trading going on and everybody was prosperous. In 2001, it was a horror. I mean, it was completely devastated.
During the 9-year period in which the war lasted, various war crimes were committed, including mass killings of civilians, mass rape, enslavement, and recruitment of child soldiers. I have arranged to meet one group of ex-child soldiers that have formed their own youth development organization.
They know I been they call me Junior, Pikin Rebel. Pikin, that's what they call me. Pikin Rebel, Junior. That's what in the trailer they call me.
I believe say we don't say war na country. Not a youth man they grab it start war. This war it starts na this country like a play. Some of we will not be the expect say that's how the war go come, but in time to come, we begin to see different people in the functions in the come inside this country, couch heavy ammunition, artillery them. They can't use they can't give we fake ideas them, follow the idea them, follow damage this country. And so now who don't see the idea then don't be the give we not so better idea for we.
Here were these people who had been exposed to a war that was imposed on them rather than a war that they themselves had been seeking. It wasn't like an inter-ethnic war. It wasn't agitated by some deep aggravation that was within our country. It wasn't based on religious differences. It wasn't related to social differences. It had been literally imposed from outside. And there they were really innocent and unknowing of even why they were facing all this horror.
From the military, during the war times. So this the rebel have been captured and the military there and Ekubok there and the Nigerian soldier.
They get one word where they can talk where they mock me. They mock some of the youth. They say the youth they're not serious. They I do. Whose opportunity they where they don't give to the youth, where the youth they don't misuse them. We don't go say the youth they I do. Some man no I do. Now where it means no day I for engage yourself. Because certain area they like also now for gain employment, for gain employment now, not easy. If you not get a Barman chief link, you need to get job now na this land. Maybe what they tell you so. Presently na kono no way no day other than defend for we employment or provide for any skill training self or say them boy where this world on do keep them busy something. No, at no go run that side again, but still na the same thing we find out na this corner presently back.
Is the fact that we had this civil war, and who were the people who were more in this were the young people. Because if there's a riot anywhere, even students start rioting, you see a lot of young people joining the riot because they are looking for opportunity to loot, to do all kinds of things, because they don't have anything else to do.
Most of the youth within at the mines, they are not there because they want to be in the mines. I can tell you 98% of them, they are there because there are no other alternatives. So anybody who wants to help young people, redirect them, agriculture, make them learn skills, the middleman power. That is where the future of this country lies, in my own belief. The education of our children in agriculture.
What's left right now in agriculture, na man in the BEC, what people in the can they tell you to do agriculture. Like me from where I born, one day me an old cutlass, I brush from here to yonder. But at the old shovel, I trip from here till behind the water. Shovel. At the trip them full father. We high pass this stick with it up. Until that pit, until don't go so na that pit. Now we do work see me.
When people discovered diamonds, farmers left off their farms to go and dig diamonds. So as a result, over the years, we couldn't produce enough rice. So the government had to resort to importing our local foodstuff. And there was this was very luxurious for those who are importing rice, instead of subsidizing farmers.
The north of Sierra Leone is known for its agriculture. So I am traveling to Port Loko to see if farming could hold the answer to Sierra Leone's youth unemployment crisis. This is the village of Burema Conte. The people here are setting up their own agricultural farm in an effort to offset the ever-rising price of rice. Rice is the most popular food in Sierra Leone. And yet, over 60% of the rice consumed is imported from abroad.
It's more expensive to produce local rice or to purchase local rice than to purchase the imported rice, because the farmers are not subsidized anymore. And any economy that has more import than export, definitely there'll be a deficit there.
Well, say matu kobana.
Some are asking for even 200,000 for a sack of rice. Well, if your salary is 200,000 a month, you use that to buy a sack of rice. You have a family to feed. How are you going to survive?
Bagimolo 1,000. Mama go feel like from 40, 10,000. Mama go feel like from buy 20,000. That is tamus work to and come sort of la. Yeah, and I'm gonna go to Catapet Bana and go to your business. I'm going to go to Yamantayo and take a bulo. That don't tip on count of. Mamma's a bulo, and I'm going to tell you, my short dollar tongue, Sicily, so I saw Samarana Putu. Ambassador, get the ass to saw.
Like most villagers in Sierra Leone, they also make their own palm oil by pounding palm nuts and boiling them. Many Sierra Leoneans still live a self-sufficient life, feeding off the fruits of the land.
We never engage ourselves in industrial farming because, one, we didn't have the know-how, we didn't have the capital to do it, and we didn't have the equipment to do it.
We have 5 varieties of rice grains here. 3 of them are wanted on the world market. They look at you like you're crazy. Who would want our native rice? Why would we go and embarrass ourselves with our native rice, which is prime rice?
In the 1950s, Sierra Leone was self-sufficient in rice production and was even exporting up until the 1970s. Can small farms like these really make an impact on foreign rice imports? It seems unlikely. I went to a meeting of the Farmers Federation of Sierra Leone to see if they have the answer to this problem.
For Ole, we embrace with farmers because all the 14 agricultural districts with farmers and they. If all the farmers in this country and the 14 districts would produce rice, would they able to compete?
Sierra Leone being a third world country, a poor country, we not been getting no form of mechanized farming. All we get now manual labor, which is very, very hard for lepers to be able to produce rice beyond what they feed in family, let alone say for sale. So therefore, in the past, all 10 this country get a shortage of rice.
We will see that government support the farmers, help the farmers for maintain the rice in price so that the farmers will be encouraged to produce more rice to discourage the imported rice. Within the next 5 years, we're not going to import rice no more.
While I am here, I want to visit the home where I was born and raised, in the village of Mangebure. What used to be a thriving community has now been abandoned. This is the place my dad came from Taiwan to live and work and set up an agricultural demonstration farm. It's just abandoned right now. Nothing is happening here. And it's really sad to see. There used to be loads of rice grown here, and Sierra Leone used to export rice those days. And now it's just been neglected. This used to be my room. Yeah, my mom tried to fix the house, to repair it, well, to reconstruct it. Yeah, well, she stopped here. The time has come for me to say goodbye to my bad country. Returning here has not only been enlightening, but it renewed my passion for the plight of my people. Despite the government's corruption, exploitative mining practices, and the lack of investment, the people of Sierra Leone are hopeful, hardworking, and determined not to slide back into war. All throughout Sierra Leone, I have seen how the youth make creative use of what little opportunities they have to make a living. But the system seems determined to trample the youth, to deny them the opportunities they need. For Sierra Leone to prosper, the government should invest in the education, training, and development of the youths. After all, they are the future of Sierra Leone, the next generation of leaders.
If all the youth come together and say, hey, it's now time for Africa to turn to the table towards national and sustainable development, I believe we can.
So we been there with Colette and peace. So we been there with Colette and North. So we been there with the stars and peace. More men could become refugees. More men could become displaced. More men could become amputee.
Everything about this place is perfect. It's like a God-given place. Nobody in Sierra Leone is interested or wants it. Everybody outside does.
God has given us this temperate climate. You can grow anything in this country. You seed outside. Within a few weeks, you see the thing sprouting, coming up. Well, why can't we make use of that? If we do, there's a great future for this country.
Peace in all water, fine. Will make a war, faith, the hide, the arm safe. But now we all only as one. Peace don't come at this country. Then safe. Surprise over we back says Sierra Leone. Don't be a change Sierra Leone.
Really want to man. Why we could destroy yourself, no? Man infect yourself for necessary cause. Keep picking the run, we gonna next land. So no fine. Jealousy company, you kill them for nothing. Thank you, peace. Thank you, peace, 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 love, much, peace, love, safe. More men could become refugees. More men could become displaced. More men could become amputee. More men could become refugees. More men could become displaced. More men could become amputee. Sing, really wanna good. Really want it bad. Really wanna find. Really wanna good. Really want it bad. Really wanna find. Colette and peace. So we been there with Colette and peace.